Hey, I'm Seth King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we just looked at the Warcraft movie. Warcraft the Beginning, they call it sometimes.
They say that video game movies always suck. I don't know if that's always true, because in my experience, saying always is kind of one of those things that should only be reserved for, scientific principles or, like, math. But this movie doesn't exactly do that theory any help.
I mean, you know what? I actually enjoyed it more than you did. And neither of us, by the way, have any...
I didn't say I didn't enjoy it. I mean, it was okay.
You spent half the time looking at your phone.
It was just so forgettable. I mean, I honestly cannot remember the name of a single person in this movie. And yes, we have that problem that we don't always remember the names of people from movies. But like, it tried. It tried hard to be something that's... This movie is like a balloon full of air. It occupies space, but it's not exactly easy to describe because it just is.
Sure. So Duratan was the name of the good guy orc chieftain.
Okay, the basic overplot is that the orcs in their world are kind of, sort of, fucked.
Right. Their planet is dying, essentially. I don't even know if it's a different planet or whatever.
Different realm.
Universe, realm.
Different realm. I don't know. Fantasy tends to get weird about this. Like, with sci-fi, it's quite easy. Oh, this is a different universe. Oh, this is a different planet. This is a different galaxy. Alrighty then. But... fantasy is just, this is another plane, another realm, another...
Whatever.
This could be Australia. This could be the equivalent of Greenland, for all we know. Someplace so far away that no one ever goes there.
Yep.
To the no one in Greenland who watches our show, we apologize. And it turns out that the world is kind of fucked. There's no life anywhere because evil, bad overboss orc has been using this type of magic that sucks the life force out of everything, but grants you great power. To which I think, maybe you should stop using that power once it's clear that it's sucking the life out of the planet.
Yeah,
Seriously, this is the plot of Final Fantasy VII.
And Final Fantasy VII was an excellent game, so...
Okay, well, granted. Yeah, but, when you're copying the... Okay, granted, he wouldn't... When you're destroying your Okay, wait, no, we do that.
We do that. Crap.
Okay. When you're destroying your only ecosystem and in a way that is far more permanent and irreplaceable than the way that humanity does it.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we cut down forests, but we plant new ones. This place looked like Arrakis or Tatooine or someplace equally inhospitable.
Which is why they're leaving.
Yeah, but once you gotta figure once he's like, yes, this is granted me. Oh shit! I should probably stop.
Apparently, he was really relying on this portal technique to get the thing going.
Yeah, but really, just so. And again, it's like, okay, you open a portal to another world. Naturally, you chose one with sentient life that could fight back and stop your stupid portal technique.
You didn't have other options, maybe? I don't know. How many worlds are there?
I don't know.
He winds up on Mars or something. Like, shit, there's no life here either.
I don't know, but if you're going to parallel universes, there's probably a lot where humanity never developed.
I don't know.
Or dwarves.
I don't know.
And so they come through, except they're underwater, and Duratan. Duratan brought his mate through. Well, actually, his mate came through on her own, and she was, like, super frickin' pregnant. And halfway through, she kind of sort of goes into labor.
Yep.
And so, evil bad guy helps deliver the baby.
The bad guy being Goldar.
Goldar gives birth to the baby. I mean, well...
Oh my god, something got messed up in the magic there.
Okay, well, it's magic, so bullshit, so...
Oh, it was such a weird scene.
Hey, it was weird enough. It looked like he was literally pulling the baby out of the wife's ass. But, okay, so... but the baby's dead on arrival, so he sucks the life out of
nearly dead anyway. I don't know what it was.
Sucks the life out of a deer and makes the baby, alive.
Yep.
And he said, the Horde has a new member.
Yep.
And
this baby is Goel, who apparently is important to the Warcraft world, but we've never played the game.
We never played the game, never read the books, never played the other game.
Yeah, the one that was before World. I guess it was just called Warcraft.
Yeah.
Some people played it. I played StarCraft back in the day, but not pro. This is so much as I
know. And then apparently the orcs just decided, fuck this world, we're taking it over. So they send the warriors out to go and enslave a lot of people so they can use those people as a power source to open up the portal for realsies and bring through the rest of the orcs.
Who apparently end up getting stranded by the end of this movie.
Yeah, and there didn't appear to be that many women. So we're going to run into some interesting genetic bottlenecks in a couple years.
Oh, dear. Okay. So, they go around pillaging and capturing, and Duratan finds this kind of disquieting because he's a good guy orc, and he's like, why are we just sort of kidnapping random people? I'm not so sure about this. So then a bunch of folks, a bunch of soldiers are dead, and Lothar, a military commander human guy, is told a bunch of these dudes are dead, and we don't know how they died. And then he winds up...
How do you not know how they died? Orcs are roughly as subtle as a freight train carrying noisemakers.
So apparently these particular dudes got killed by magic instead of by, clobbering.
Maybe?
Otherwise they'd have wounds. So then he meets Khadgar, which that one I didn't memorize. I just drew up Wikipedia here. And he's like some sort of wizard type dude, but like in training, and like he left his training, and everyone hates him for some reason, because I guess everyone hates his particular group of wizards.
Except they don't, because he's part of like the... Maybe it was that he was like desecrating bodies and stuff.
No, it was like, I saw the mark on your arm, and now I hate you. Remember this? He saw like... I mean, he hated him already, but he specifically went to check for the mark and went, aha, I see, you have that mark. It confirms my hatred.
Yeah, except that apparently the Guardian, who's a really freaking important dude in this universe, also has that same mark as his symbol, so I don't even know what the hell.
Yeah, maybe they're like slightly different and we didn't notice these two marks.
Or, and this is entirely possible, I don't care.
Yeah, that's probably possible.
So eventually they poke a guy and he burps out green gas, and he's like, oh my god, this means something!
We have to go summon the Guardian, he can explain it to you. Which I really think Khadgar could just explain what he knows right now, but okay.
And then they use the best character in the movie.
Yes.
A griffin. That they ride on like Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon.
Like the best thing, yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it's the best character.
Named mostly towards the end there.
Yeah, I seriously started asking him, Sonic says, okay, you have these giant flying carnivorous monsters that obey your every command. How is this war not over already?
Yeah. Oh, but before they fly off, though, they have to go talk to the king, so the king can like give them the authority to like summon the griffin. And it's here I noticed that everyone
is the Guardian.
Yeah, the Guardian. Yeah, summon the griffin; it'll solve everything. Summon the Guardian. It's here I noticed that everyone is really young. Like they all seem to be in their 20s. And, like, the one kid who's the son of Lothar is, like, maybe he's 18 and Lothar's, like, 30. Like, it wasn't a huge difference.
I explain this as, it's the Middle Ages type of technology / era. Lifespans were not long.
Yeah, but for nothing else than visual distinctiveness.
Okay,
this whole time I'm comparing this to Lord of the Rings in my head, which of course, is the gold standard. And it was like, oh yeah, you could. One of the ways you could tell people apart was their age differences. The king particularly looked too young.
But everyone had the same fucking hairstyle and beard. I could not tell anyone apart.
So they
I seriously thought the king and the captain of the guard and like the Guardian were all the same person until they opened their mouths.
Oh gosh.
And started talking. And even then, half of them did not sound like they were trying.
I did feel that Lothar's accent kind of got stronger or weaker depending on the scene, And also, yeah, the acting was subpar overall. It was, there were a couple times like, oh, I got a little better there, that's good. And then it was mostly like, Yeah, not great.
Okay.
I'm really noticing this acting.
Another big problem with it is the fight choreography. Oh God, the fight choreography.
Which way, particularly?
The way that it was filmed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fight cinematography.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the choreography was okay. They're fighting, I get it.
Yeah.
Had some good moments.
But the problem is that it jumps around so much, you don't know where anything is in the fight.
Yeah.
It shows a guy, and then shows a different guy, and it's like, are they in the same area? Are they in the same forest? Are they in two different forests?
Yeah.
You don't know.
And there were these rapid transitions between scenes, too. It's
and
just
some
like,
of them,
suddenly you're somewhere else. And you're like, oh, I guess we're somewhere else now.
It's looking at Khadgar or whatever, and then it shifts over to the... it's like, my God, we're going to have to fight the orcs now. And then it shifts over to Khadgar, who's just writing some notes in a journal, and then it shifts over to the orcs.
Yeah.
For like a full scene. But like for 10 seconds, it's just focus on Khadgar, who's doing nothing but scribbling notes in a journal.
Which does end up being important to the plot later, but it was just, it jumped randomly, you know, yeah.
And you don't know where anything... I did not... Okay, in Lord of the Rings, I at least got the sense that Rohan and the Shire and Gondor and Mordor, they were all really far apart. But I didn't know how far apart anything was, because at some points we had people teleporting. Other times it was like, we must go out to this place and show no travel time and just show them there.
Yeah, like they spent one night on the road apparently from Kingdomville, Stormwind, to where the portal is. I'm like, oh, is it like a 1 day's travel or something?
Yeah,
like,
shouldn't you guys be more upset about the horde of monsters that's coming your way?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, and
but to continue the plot in order, they get to the Guardian's place, and you find the Guardian who's just like got his shirt off and he's sculpting, and you're like, wait, that's the Guardian? I thought we were gonna summon a monster or something, like, you know, some great beast was the Guardian of our realm. Oh, it's this guy. He does look cooler later when he puts on his cloak and stuff. So there's like, there's this evil magic called the Fell. And he's like, oh no, the Fell, that terribly sucks. Okay, I'll come to, Stormwind, capital city, to discuss it with you, basically.
Sorry.
So they talk about this and they go, okay, we don't know who's attacking us, we need to take prisoners. Because apparently there are no, like, living witnesses to these attacks who can just describe these folk to them.
And again, I know that these are not Warhammer orcs, because those are about as subtle as an asteroid strike. But these are still not subtle orcs.
Yeah.
They're gigantic. They have axes.
I mean,
they
someone
charge
did
at you
mention they were giants,
screaming, and they're fucking orcs. They're in war bands. They're pillaging and raping and looting and setting shit on fire. How has no one seen this?
I mean, I guess they did, but they wanted to see them up close. So they go off and like, all right, we're going to send like 10 or 20 guys, whatever it was, to go capture some orcs. So they end up getting into a fight with some orcs, and they capture,
Here's another problem with the fighting. Yeah. The first time that they were fighting the orcs, I laughed. I laughed my ass off.
Well, that very first hit, remember that? Like, they throw like a big ball of metal from the side of the screen. It looked cartoony.
Yeah, and like the fighting continued to look cartoony. We had people backhanding each other, and the knights are trying to fight for their lives, and the orcs are just walking through them, just like almost casually. Here's a tip: if you want us to take a threat seriously, don't make it look super fucking easy for any side.
Well,
or at least make them look like they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be trying anyway. They just got pwned until the Guardian all pwned the orcs. So some of the orcs have been like infected with the Fell that makes them stronger, but then also potentially makes them evil.
And also turns them green.
Turns them green, yeah. So.
But there's like other orcs that aren't, but they're still strong, but they're like
I guess not
Caucasian.
Quite as strong, yeah.
I don't know. This movie has a chronic problem of not explaining anything.
Yeah.
My God, it's the Fell. We must contact Stormwind. Question: what is the Fell? What's Stormwind? Why do we need to contact them? None of these questions are answered.
Not very well. So they do end up getting a couple of prisoners. One of whom gets stabbed very soon. The other one is Scarona, who ends up being a half orc, and maybe the Guardian is her dad. They strongly implied that later on.
Yeah.
And she speaks English because she totally talked to, like, one of our prisoners. Which, wow, you pick up languages fast, but okay.
Yeah, you know, dude.
Maybe there was some magic involved.
Yeah, this is a fantasy universe, so...
So they bring her all the way back to Stormwind to talk to the king, and they're kind of nice to her. So I guess that's good enough for her to be like, okay, cool, I will tell you whatever all I know. Yeah,
I'll betray my people. But to be fair,
oh, she'd been a slave.
She'd been a slave. Yes, to be fair, she'd been a slave.
So then, so then it was like, okay, now we're gonna take this journey to go look at the portal, which is like under construction or reconstruction or whatever. Well, they're constructing a new one, I guess.
Yeah.
And they send like 5 dudes out to go look at it, which is a small number of people. And also, if you already know it's there, just send the whole army in that direction.
Well, okay, maybe they needed someone to take a look at the lay of the land.
Yeah.
I mean, you can know where something is,
Yeah.
but like I could say, oh, can you go get a water bottle? It's in the next room. But if I don't tell you where in the room the water bottle is,
it'll take longer to find. Yeah.
Yes, precisely. But they didn't seem to be doing that either, and good orc guy captures them. Duratan captures them and says, "Look, I want to talk to your king in 2 days at the only creepy place on the entire planet."
Yes. Because he's worried about what's his name, Gul'dan, because he's all evil and like leader of the orcs and using this fell magic that'll probably frick up this planet too.
Yeah,
so he's thinking of launching a rebellion against his leader, which I guess he's allowed to do if he doesn't in single combat. That comes up later.
Yeah, so anyway, he's like, yeah, we want to kill Gul'dan. And they go to the capital city of
Stormwind.
And there's like this alliance in progress talking about, oh, we need to stop the orcs. Well, how do we do that? Well, I don't know. I'm going to just I'm going to do the standard thing when we're bringing together an alliance and yell at all the people that I have grievances at.
Yep.
And this is like one of the few scenes in the movie that there is both dwarves and elves and humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that Warcraft has is right from the start, you can pick your race. You know, you can be a dwarf, an elf, a human, and any one of the other stupid races. But here's the thing. We never see them doing anything else in the movie. Oh, wait, at the very beginning, there was a guy who
a
brings
dwarf
out
invented the gun.
A dwarf invented the gun, and then, like, that scene never gets mentioned again. I mean, we see other people with guns, but...
Yeah, you know, I guess they just didn't have time to, like, bring in all the races. It's okay, I guess. Yeah, so it's... Okay, they're totally gonna build this portal. What do we do about that? I guess we could... Oh, no. They say he wants to have the meeting. So, okay, we're gonna go out and have this meeting. So they all ride out there. And then they get ambushed by Gul'dan's forces.
Who heard about the meeting because, like, Duratan's second betrayed them or something.
Yeah.
Again, this is not a movie that makes things really clear.
So there's a big betrayal, and then Lothar ends up losing his son because freaking Guardian has, like, put up a lightning wall between him and his son at a critical moment. Which may have been on purpose, because it turns out he's been influenced by evil and all this later on.
Yeah, but this seems really frickin' petty for... Let's see. Will it aid my villainous plan to make the humans really pissed and try to stop them from opening the portal? Or should I just pettily, increase the hatred between humans and orcs?
Yeah, like,
let's do that second one.
Why didn't he kill, like, every dude in the area? Like, I don't know, is there a limit to his magic? He can only make a lightning wall?
Killing the human king would have, like, really helped his plans, because he would have brought more orcs through.
I mean, I guess the deal was the Fel was infecting his mind, but only sporadically. You know, he would, like, go amnesiac and evil for a little bit, I guess, now and then, but that wasn't clear either. So, yeah I don't know, not clear. So Lothar loses his son, very sad, and then they all end up going back to Stormwind and figuring, okay, maybe we'll contain the area around the gate. And Lothar's like, you're an idiot. They're going to bring in, like, infinite orcs. We need to, like, stop the gate from doing its thing at all.
Yeah, also, there's this whole thing of back at Orc Camp Place, all of Duratan's men are being slaughtered because, oh, you dared to try to bring down the head orc. Understandable. But, so Duratan's wife runs for her life and takes their kid with. So...
And then does a whole Moses and the bulrush thing by putting him in a river and, like, sending him on his way.
And, you know, because the concept of waterfalls is just something that doesn't exist in fantasy universes.
Nope.
Or things that could fly down from the sky and eat the kid.
Destiny says so, or something.
No, you know, just like, I don't know, the griffins we've clearly seen and established.
Yeah. Nope.
Seriously, there are flying alpha predators.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you people? In fact, why do you even use horses? You have griffins.
Maybe there's a shortage.
Then breed more.
Yeah.
God damn.
So yeah, and this whole intra-orc fighting thing was actually kind of interesting because it was like Duratan gets in trouble for like making the secret meeting with the humans and plotting to overthrow Gul'dan, and then his second in command is like talking to Gul'dan, and Gul'dan's like, hey, I'll give you fel power, and he's like, no, how about instead you get my whole clan together and then give me fel power in front of them as like a demonstration of how cool fel power is, which is like, oh, he's delaying on the getting fel power thing. That's kind of interesting.
Well,
and then,
also, you know, even if he is telling the truth,
yeah.
That is an effective way.
And
because
that is an effective
as Gul'dan said, they are a practical people. If he just walks down and says, hey guys, I'm super powered now, they're going to be like, get out of here.
But then apparently off screen, Gul'dan decides to like slaughter that whole damn tribe. Because because he had just mentioned as part of his excuse making, you know, they're not so sure about this fel business. Gul'dan's like, frick them, which frankly kind of made sense in context because this is the only tribe rebelling against him right now, I guess. Yeah. Or thinking about rebelling. So yeah, that whole thing happens, and then the second in command dude finds Duratan and like lets him loose, and Duratan ends up challenging Gul'dan, the evil sorcerer guy, for like single combat, which Gul'dan eventually wins, but only by cheating because he uses magic, which like pisses people off because that's not honorable. And I was like, oh, I'm starting to get a sense of like orc culture and stuff. I mean, obviously it's pretty Klingon and all this.
Yeah,
but...
honestly, most warrior races, as soon as I see, this is basically Klingons, I just kind of start tuning it out.
Yeah, no.
Trickery, that is to say, anything that someone uses to win that doesn't involve punching each other in the face.
Yeah.
Is considered dishonorable. You have to always follow the commands of the leader unless, you know, you kick his ass first. And you always have to continue to move forward and always get glorious victories because that is honorable. And it's... Okay, look. If it's done once or twice, fine. But when every goddamn fantasy race or science fiction race uses that as their default for, this is how my fucking species will act, it gets really fucking old.
I suppose.
You know, like, I like the Sangheili, from the elites from Halo. And at the bare minimum, they at least have shades of complexity to this stuff. They take it to the point where it's actually a racial weakness, and that adds depth to their thing. They're so focused on war and combat, they don't have any doctors or engineers or scientists. They outsourced all that stuff to the prophets, and that was a massive weakness in their society, which is something that can be exploited. That's depth. Hell, you know what the best honorable warrior race I've ever read about was? Bolos.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Bolos are tanks with AIs that are essentially better than anything in the universe. And they have the personality of knights in shining armor. They are warriors who will go into battle headlong and do it for the honor of the regiment and to save the lives of their creators. They are pure and good beings, and they will fight, but they have culture, and they have actual honor. They will never turn on their creator. And even if they do, it's because of circumstances beyond their control. One of the only times I've ever seen that a Bolo would turn against the other members of the Dinochrome Brigade, the Bolo organization. Well, actually, there's three that I can think of. First, one was suborned by a computer virus, which he kept detailed notes on and kept submitting messages to his other Bolos saying, go away, I'm being subverted by a computer virus, and here's the information on the virus, so when you guys develop an antivirus, you can kick their asses. The second one was where he went rogue, a Bolo went rogue, so that it could create earthquakes to stimulate the economy. It makes sense in context. I swear to God, it makes sense in context. And the third, he abandoned a town he was supposed to be defending in the middle of a battle against aliens. And so what he did, eventually they figured out why he did what he did. He ran away because he had human survivors inside of him, and a bolt of energy had seared off a huge chunk of his brain, so he was basically thinking anything with a gun is the enemy. So yes, he murdered his fellow Bolos, but he was still following his directive. I must protect humanity, and anyone innocent. That is a warrior race I could get behind. They are cultured, they are proud, and they are honorable. Not just some thing like, oh, you decided to punch me in the groin instead of the face. That's not honorable. Not some, oh, you didn't follow this arbitrary rule of the... which is our most sacred tradition that we always talk about. No, fuck that and fuck you. I am so sick of it. But the reason why I get so angry at this is that it always, without fail, is what science fiction and fantasy writers will use as an excuse to avoid world building. Oh, we have proud, honorable warrior race type person here. It's just lazy. I could have taken that fight scene between Dura whatever and Goldar, and I could have put in any fight scene from Star Trek The Next Generation, and it wouldn't have changed a thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of those, aren't there?
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of red shirts, I guess?
They didn't have shirts!
They didn't have shirts. Oh, wow. There's the difference.
Okay. Well, I mean, Klingon,
Klingon, yeah.
You know, but I'm sorry for my rant. No, I'm not sorry for my rant. I'm just... A little imagination is all I ask.
That's understandable. So it all ends up in one big fight in front of the portal. Best character ever gets to show up and eat some people.
One thing that did bug me was that even though the guy cheated to win, and everyone was like, oh, he cheated, and the orcs are walking past him going, you're a demon, I don't trust you. That's all they do. They don't try to murder this guy they obviously think is a demon.
Yeah.
You could say that
you
could say it's their stupid orc honor, but... You know, when honor says, don't murder the horrible monster that sucks life energy out of people, I think I'm going to find a new definition of honor that works with my personal beliefs.
Yeah, well, what happened was that they try to walk away. I mean, granted, they weren't attacking him, like you say, but they try to walk away, and then he kills 3 of them at, like, a whim, because he can totally do that to the infected. And they're like, oh, never mind, and they kind of join up with him again. Oh, yeah, and there's this whole bit where we're figuring out that the Guardian has been turned evil by some fell magic that he must have encountered, like, before the movie began. So our apprentice wizard guy ends up helping to kill him, along with Lothar, by dropping a golem on the dude.
Yeah, dude.
That was a fun moment.
Yeah, okay, that's probably the best moment in the movie, just because of how I did not see this coming it was.
Yeah.
You know, I always like when they do that, you know. Cliche moments are a dime a dozen, because they're cliche. But moments where you could just say, well, in this movie, we see a wizard drop a golem on another wizard to murder the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that's new. I have not seen that before.
Yeah, you know, typically when you think golem combat, you think, you know, big hulking guy, but no, I like this type. I want to see more of that.
Yeah. So then, Guardian's being crushed to death, but I guess, well, no, the apprentice dude does something that, like, gets the fell out of him somehow.
He does, like, the shining finger from G Gundam on his face.
Which incidentally also nukes all the trees in the area, so...
Yeah, but somehow everyone is okay in this room.
Magic did not really explained. And then Guardian, while he's still alive and has turned good briefly, he changes the portal so it goes to Stormwind. And this allows us to, like, rescue the prisoners and send them through the portal... But then he dies, so the portal closes, and apparently the apprentice dude doesn't know how to make a new portal. There were 2 references really randomly prior to the, like, yes, well, I am the Guardian for now. And he looks like in the direction of the apprentice for no reason. It's not even the Guardian's apprentice. It's some random apprentice dude who quit school. The dropout, I should be calling him.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, so clearly that guy ends up being the new Guardian in the actual game, and this is the prequel to the thing, and you guys are just referencing it, I guess. Okay, fine. So then the battle's going on, and the remaining humans, including the king, are totally pwned because they're surrounded by orcs. There's this weird moment where the king talks to Garona, the half-orc girl who's working with them, and everything in the background goes slow-mo, but they themselves are still in real time.
Yeah, I've seen similar things.
Have you seen it? It threw me off a little. There were a few times where the CGI in general was like, oh, that's a little off there. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but when you're interacting, when you're having humans and CGI things interact, there's going to be inconsistencies.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to sync them up perfectly.
Yeah. But this interesting moment comes up, though. So, and again, yes, this is going to go back to that honor thing, but you hate. But so big old bad orc is going to come try and kill the king and, like, claim honor. And the king says to Grona, I need you to kill me so that you can get honor and get accepted among your people and use that position to eventually create some sort of a peace between humans and orcs. I was like, that's new. And she does end up killing him very regretfully. And Lothar doesn't know that that was a plan on the king's behalf, so he feels that Garona has betrayed them after he shows up and has a fight and totally
because he shows up on Best Character.
He shows up on Best Character.
It's probably the best scene in the movie, just because he lands and he's like all teary-eyed and he's picking up the king's body and gathering his sword, and in the background the griffin is tearing through all the orcs like a chainsaw through butter. You can see orcs flying through the air, fountains of gore. See it screaming and literally kicking orcs in the face.
And all in the background while he's doing like dramatic stuff in the foreground.
This is the textbook scene for funny background moments.
Yeah.
Because this is just like, I'm having this dramatic moment while my ride kicks your ass. Yeah. This is my motorcycle, and it's kicking your ass.
And then he does that one-on-one fight that does not last very long.
Okay, earlier, Gul'dan had taken one of the big orcs that had been present throughout the movie and given him superpowers or something, and said, you will be the biggest and strongest orc to show everyone how awesome the fell is. And he goes down in less than 20 seconds. Yeah. Lothar slides between his legs, cuts off his balls as he does this, and then impales him through the chest from the back. And then the fight's over.
Yeah. And then everyone, like, respects him all of a sudden, and they're letting him go, and Gul'dan's like, freaking kill him! And then Garona's like, no, if you kill him, like, then I get, apparently that is the final straw, at which point everyone will stop following Gul'dan.
Yeah, we were still following you when you ripped the life force and souls from our people. We were following you when you literally ruined our entire planet, and we were continuing to follow you after you blatantly cheated in a one-on-one combat thing. But killing this puny little human because he's your mortal enemy? How dare you!
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah, see, this is why honor is fucking stupid.
But what I found interesting, though, is, like, so the beginning of this movie seemed really bad, and then it got better for me later on, partly because their prequel-ness of this whole thing forces them into an unusual story structure, right? In any movie, either A, that you get to kill all the orcs and win, or B, they make peace, right? They didn't get to do that. They got to, like, we saved some of these prisoners, but now this long war will begin, and, like, maybe hopefully it'll be fixed at some point. And it was sort of like, oh, that feels new to me. It was a different structure there. This whole deal with Garona regretfully killing the king, and now she's kind of on our side, but she's also with the orcs, but, like, Lothar hates her because he doesn't know, and that doesn't get resolved, was kind of interesting. It didn't feel like, some stupid unresolved thing. It felt like this is kind of how the world works, it's not all wrapped up in a little bow. I was like, yeah, I can stand with that, I like that.
Well, the one thing that did bug me was at the end, they start chanting, "For Azeroth! For the Alliance!" And they're like, yeah, we're all gonna fight together in the Alliance! Yeah! You go, dwarves! You go, elves! You did nothing to this plot! Seriously, you just sat out on your asses. Go make me some cookies, you fucking elves. Go, like, do something worthwhile. Fucking dwarves.
I'm sure someone wants to make a sequel where they do something, but, I wouldn't be holding my breath.
I think my favorite parts of the movie were on Durona? Daytona? Duraton. In the very beginning, when he's interacting with his wife, and it's really a different look.
Yeah.
Usually when you think orcs, you see Lord of the Rings orcs, where they look like heavy metal bikers, and like with terrible hygiene, and they're like covered in scabs, and they're all black makeup, and it's like, we're here to murder and pillage and rape because that's what orcs do. But no, he's lying down for the evening next to his very pregnant wife, and they're just shooting the breeze about,
what to name the baby.
What are we going to name our child?
Yeah.
I will be proud forever of my son or my daughter, whichever comes out. I will love them, and I will love you. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's this little side of orcs that people just, okay, granted, orcs are like the perfect, pretty much created to be fantasy villains. They exist to be mowed down by the hundreds to be farmed for EXP. But you don't really consider what, each orc had like a mother and a father. They might have a different societal structure about the mother and the father, but,
they have origins, they have histories.
Yeah, they probably like played around as kids.
I once saw, or heard of rather, a book that took Lord of the Rings and spun it on its head, where the orcs are the good guys getting mowed down. And, like, everything you read about in Lord of the Rings is supposedly propaganda by, like, these terrible racist people that wanted to kill all the orcs for no reason.
Yeah, I did read a story once where they did that. Like, the wizard was, like, going, we must destroy the Dark Lord. But then the Dark Lord at the end is like, I'm actually not that evil.
Yeah, what's your problem?
I was championing the rights of all these orcs who were left homeless because of the cruel kings and queens at the edge of society. Remember how he let all those people die that he could have saved? Or how he refused to help all the poor and suffering, instead sitting in his ivory tower? I'm just trying to save the world and these poor people. I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to make us sympathize with the orcs, and I do sympathize with them a little bit. The problem is that their actions are so unforgivably evil.
Well, Gul'dans are anyway. I mean, Durotan leads a rebellion against Gul'dan.
Yeah, and that doesn't really do anything in the end. Aside from the Moses and the Bulrush scene.
Yeah, and that's in one hand you could call it annoying the way it didn't do much. On the other hand, again, kind of interesting that, like, our heroes made a valiant struggle and they wound up saving those prisoners, and, like, that was all we managed because things are complicated. And you're like, oh, that's different. I mean, it was interesting when Durotan dies. And it's like, he doesn't die in this epic thingamajig that winds up saving the world. He did his best and he dies. The end for him. And you're like, oh, wow, that's very different than what normally you would do with a main character death scene.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like dropped a bridge on him either, where you're just like, what the hell was that? It was
he
more
fought
like,
well, but he was going up against a dark demon sorcerer dude.
Yeah. So
who cheats?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things not well explained, a lot of awkward, jumpy transitions, poor acting in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
But it has some interesting ideas here.
Yeah, it's got interesting ideas, and sometimes that's all you can really...
half, yeah.
And sometimes with science fiction and fantasy stuff, that's really all you can hope for.
Yeah. So, check it out if you don't have anything better to watch.
Yeah, if you're a Warhammer...
if you're a Warcraft person, then...
Yeah, this might appeal to you better because you'll be able to say, oh, yeah, I know that place. I remember when I ran a quest there. Or, oh, I remember that place. I remember when I did this there. But I didn't know what anything was.
When they hand Garona that knife, like, to defend yourself with, the first handed it to her, I was like, now go kill 10 dire rats. And get EXP and grind to level 2, or however that works. I'm sure the dire rats are probably from some other game, whatever. I don't know anything about this, because I can't personally stand MMOs. They're such time sinks. You have to sink so much time into it. Yeah, like, I'm sorry. It's not my thing.
Give me a game where I can just beat it in a couple hours.
Yeah. Anyway. Or give me a movie with better everything.
Yeah.
No, more Griffins. That's what we want. Just give me a movie about Griffins.
Just all, next Equestria Girls movie, just all Gilda.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I'd watch that. No, I wouldn't.
Well, somebody would.
Robot dinosaurs fighting zombie witches.
I can get you robot dinosaurs. There's this game called Horizon Zero Dawn that might suck for all I know, but the trailer looks cool.
There's also a game called Atomic Robot Dinosaurs Who Breathe Lasers When They Roar.
Wow.
I'll try to track it down for you because that is just it's just basically a side-scrolling shooter, but you know it involves robot dinosaurs that fly.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I guess that's about it.
I guess that's about it. So I'm Sith King,
and I'm Soxons.
We're signing off.